Hi, my name is Carissa. This is the story about how I accidentally moved to rural Thailand. And so to get to this story, we have to go about 6 months before I moved to Thailand. I was studying in college at Oklahoma State University, and I'd done 2 internships, one for the Air Force and another for GE Oil and Gas. And basically I was like, I have my whole life to work. I just want to travel and study abroad for a while. That sounds awesome. But also, I had 0 money. So I started applying abroad, and I obviously didn't want to pay for the master's degree. I was applying to grad salary scholarships abroad. And I was like, this is going to be awesome. I can study in Europe or Thailand or somewhere in Asia, Africa, wherever. I was just applying to all the scholarships I could to any of the universities and just seeing who would accept me or not. And so I was really excited. I was like, if I get a graduate scholarship, I can study for free in a foreign country. I can travel on the weekends and get to know new culture. And so it was great. So I applied to Thailand, and they were the first ones to get back to me. And they're like, we accept you. Come on over to Thailand. Welcome to Cassette Sart University. They're like, do you accept our scholarship? And so I looked up Cassette Sart, and it was telling me all this stuff. It was they're like, we're based in Bangkok. We're the oldest agricultural university in Thailand. And I was hyped back. I researched Cassette Sart extensively because I started thinking, I was like, what if this is a scam? What if there's I know there's a lot of sex tourism in Thailand. I was like, what if this is an elaborate sex trafficking scheme and they're only accepting me and this isn't legit? And I don't know, I was being a little crazy, but I researched them a lot, and I was like, this is a legit university. I looked at my advisor, and there was a lot of research publications he'd published, and then I made sure his email address was affiliated with the university. I did a lot of research to make sure it was legit. So then I was like, yes, I accept. I'm going to Thailand. And I told my parents about it, and they weren't too excited about it. They're like, Carissa, we don't want you to go to Thailand for 2 years. But I was like, I don't care, I'm going. So I typed back. I was like, heck yeah, I'm coming. And so my advisor started messaging me. So he was like, we got to get through all these visa requirements. I was like, all these websites are in Thai. I don't know where a good apartment is. I don't know what's going to be close to campus or what's reasonable. And he was like, yeah, I'll get you your apartment for your first month. So then when you come over here, you can check it out for yourself. And so it was finally the time to go. And my parents started freaking out. My mom started crying a lot. I saw my dad cry for the first time in my life. And I started freaking out myself because they were telling me things. They were like, Carissa, what if you die over there and then you're 24 hours away from us? And I was like, I didn't think about that. And they're like, what if you get really sick? What if you get kidnapped? What if your leg gets amputated and we're a 24-hour flight away and we can't help you? I was like, that sounds pretty scary. My dad, like I said, he cried a little bit. He's like, Carissa, we don't want you to leave for 2 years. And my dad's a big manly man, so seeing him cry was like, whoa, this is for real. I'm for real about to leave the country for 2 years. I hadn't thought it through that much. They really psyched me out all week. My mom walked around the house like this, and I started feeling pretty guilty about it. But I felt like I had to go. I was like, if I don't go, I've already told so many people I'm going to Thailand. If I don't, I'm gonna look like a big flake and a liar. So that's what kept me going, even though my parents were really making me feel guilty and scared about leaving. So then I got psyched out enough that I was ready to be like, okay, I'm not gonna do it, I'm not gonna go. And then my mom thinks it's a God thing, but she's like, the day before you left, I was like, I don't know why I've been crying so much. This is actually gonna be a really cool time for Carissa. At the same time, my mom was about 26 when she moved abroad with my dad to Pakistan. And she was like, I did the same thing. Why am I freaking out so much? So the day came for me to fly to the airport. And I was like, if my mom asked me to not leave again, I'm gonna do it. So the whole car ride there, she was really chipper, in a good mood. And I was like, isn't she gonna cry and tell me not to go to Thailand? And it never came. We got to the airport and my mom was like, I think you're gonna have a really fun time. And I was just waiting. I was inside, I was like, Mom, tell me not to go and I won't go. But she never did that. And so it was really a shock. So I was like, well, now I have no excuse to not go because my parents aren't freaking out. So I had my 2 suitcases and I was getting in line to go through security. And once I got through security, I just like sat down on the airport chair and I like sobbed, and there was a lady in front of me and I was going and she just looked at me, looked down, waited a minute, and then she like moved seats somewhere else. I think she went and bought something from the vending machine, but I knew the real reason. But I was crying because I was about to leave America for 2 years, so I didn't care. I was like letting it out, and I was like, I don't even care that I'm publicly crying because I'm going through a lot right now. I like texted my best friend. I was like, I'm so sad. I'm leaving America. I don't know if I can do it. I'm sitting in the airport. And she called me and pep talked me. She was like, Krista, you're the coolest person I know. If anyone can do this, you can. I don't believe in anyone else but you. You're gonna kill it, and you're gonna take over Thailand by storm and probably become like a Thai celebrity or something, which was a great pep talk. It got me on the plane, at least. None of it was true. I'm not a Thai celebrity, but it was like the pep talk of ages. So I got on the plane, and I still had little tears running down my face. And the girl next to me on the plane could see that I was crying, but you know, she put in her headphones like, not gonna deal with whatever's going on here. And so there was a couple in front of me, and they were talking to this girl in front of me, and they're like, we live in Doha, Qatar, and my parents are oil field parents, and so they remind me of my parents. So I fell asleep in my chair listening to them, and I just fell asleep the whole way, and I stopped in Doha, Qatar for my first one. And so after that, I was already in a different country. I was like, I've committed, so I stopped freaking out about moving to Thailand. But now I was freaking out about what happens when I get to Thailand. And the whole like sex trafficking thing went straight back to my brain. I was like, what if I show up and I'm immediately kidnapped and sex trafficked? Because my professor, my new advisor I was gonna have in Thailand, sent me a text. He was like, I'm sending 2 graduate students to pick you up. Their names are Gop and Grace. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna meet these people. But then I thought about it later. I was like, what if these 2 people are gonna like knock me out with a club and bring me to a brothel? And so the whole time I was in Qatar, I was just sitting in the airport and I was coming up with a game plan. Luckily, my best friend had given me, what's it called? She had given me the pepper spray. She gave me pepper spray. And I was like, I have pepper spray in my front pocket. I just got to make sure to get it out there. I was like making plans. I was like, I can roll my suitcase into their feet and run away if I feel sketched out by them. I was like, if I see them in the airport and I can tell that they're a brothel owners, I'll just ditch them and I'll get into my own cab. I'll get into my own taxi and just go find a hotel somewhere because I had enough money for that. The semester before I was going to leave for Thailand, I got 2 jobs, one at a roller rink, one as a research scientist, which were 2 very different jobs. And I saved up about $4,000. So I was like, if that happens, I already have a Thai visa through Thailand, so I can just stay here for 3 months of vacation and then come back to America. So that was my plan. I was like, I'm gonna see them at the airport, see if they're creepy, maybe pepper spray them, maybe just run away, and then vacation in Thailand for 3 months if it comes down to that. So I had my whole escape plan. And so I showed up to Thailand finally, and I saw them in the airport, and they were a lot shorter than me. I am 5 feet 11 inches tall and a half, and so they were both maybe like, I don't know, 5'4" or 5'5", very small. And so I was like, ha, these guys try to attack me, I can easily take them down, no problem. So I wasn't even nervous about it anymore, except I was a little nervous. I was like, I'm getting into a car with them. And so they both took my suitcases because they're really nice and sweet. They didn't give me a creepy vibe, but I was still on guard. I was like, you know, I still might get trafficked, even if they seem nice. Probably all the brothel people seem nice. We got into their car. They put my suitcases in the back of their car, and I realized I left my pepper spray in my suitcase. And I was like, oh crap, if they attack me, I have to use my fist now. I don't even have my pepper spray. I was pretty nervous about that. And they started asking me a bunch of questions. They're like, why did you choose to study in Thailand? Like, America has way better universities. And I was like, yeah, I just wanted to kind of travel for 2 years. And they're like, oh, that makes sense, cool. Well, this trip is about 2 hours, so if you're really tired from your 24-hour flight, you can fall asleep. And I was like, 2 hours? I thought the campus was 20 minutes away. And they were like, That's the Bangkok campus. That is not the campus we're going to. You applied to Cassette Start Kampeng Sen. And I was like, where's that? And they're like, oh, it's like in rural Thailand. Did you think you applied for Bangkok? And I was like, well, yeah. And they just both started cracking up. They're like, oh, well, you're going to rural Thailand. And so that's when I found out I'm accidentally moving to rural Thailand. I applied for the wrong campus. And so I was pretty shocked in the car, but I was like, all right, I'm just gonna wing it. Like, see what happens. Just gonna keep going for it. Show up, see if I like it, even though I made a huge mistake. And so I showed up to rural Thailand. They like gave me a welcoming dinner. My advisor was really sweet. I met all of his grad students and it was awesome. But it really was rural Thailand. Like, when I applied for Cassette Start University, I saw they had like a huge international student program. So I was like, I'll make instant friends, no problem. They also, everyone has to pass like the TEFL exam to get into Cassette Start. So I was like, all the Thai students are gonna speak English too. So it's gonna be awesome. And then I showed up to Kampeng Sen, and it is super rural here. You can see I'm in rural Thailand. Mosquitoes are biting me. There's a rat over there I just saw, and lots of birds. I mean, there's no city life around here. And so as I went around the university, no one spoke English. Like, even the professors didn't speak English very well. And I was very confused. I was like, Professor, how come no one speaks English? Don't they all have to pass the TEFL exam? And he's like, oh yes, everyone has to take it, and everyone can read and write, but they can't speak or listen at all. It's just like how Thai people are. I was like, what? So here I was in rural Thailand, being the only English speaker and basically the only white person here. I stood out like a sore thumb. So it was really awful. I was like transported back to being a 10-year-old because I could do nothing for myself. I only spoke English. I did not speak Thai. So I couldn't order food for myself. I always had to have a sponsor with me. My professor designated a little grad student of his to follow me around everywhere I went and do everything for me. But his grad student couldn't even speak English either. So sometimes I'd like look at a menu and it was all in Thai, and I'd like point out a picture. I'd be like, this, and he'd be like, no, spicy. And so then he'd just choose a random food for me. But I had no choice over my own life. And also, there were tons of forms I had to sign all the time, and I couldn't choose my own classes. Thai students have to choose their own classes, but I can't read Thai. I can't get on the Thai website. So my professor would just choose everything for me, and then I'd sign the paper. And there are all these papers I had to sign, and they were all in Thai. So I just had to trust my professor and sign my life away. Trust that he's doing right with me, which he was. He's a great guy. And I couldn't travel by myself. I'm 2 hours away from Bangkok. So there are vans that get to Bangkok, but I didn't know how to ride them by myself because the van drivers only speak Thai. And so basically I was just completely helpless. And it was really awful. I had no friends and I was super lonely, and I was silent for probably 3 months of my life because I couldn't speak to anyone. And so after that I started learning Thai, and I studied for 1 to 2 hours every day because I was like, if I'm gonna stay here, I can't be this lonely, or I'll literally cry myself to death. Maybe. Just kidding, I didn't cry every day, but I was pretty sad and alone in my own room and really bored all the time. And so I was like, I'm gonna learn Thai every day. So I studied Thai for 1 to 2 hours each day, and that improved my life a lot. After 6 months I could have conversations and I could get around Thailand by myself, and things really improved. And that's a story for another time, but that is a story of how I accidentally moved to rural Thailand. Anyways, if you like this story and if you want to follow more of my life, please subscribe. I'm Carissa Angut. I live in Kampeng Sen, Thailand. See you next time.